All right, Ed Carbajal for Spectation Sports, speaking with Joe Giannetti, who's fighting at Cage Titans 58. Joe, I got a lot of questions I want to ask you, man. I know just as we were going into a recording, you're fighting on March 18th for Cage Titans, which is a
Yes,
place
sir.
you kind of built your whole rep there. You fought there a lot, so I know a lot of folks know you from the Ultimate Fighter and stuff like that, but since I've been following you for a while, as I was just hinting to before we started recording, before we get into the fight questions, I noticed you post a lot of stuff about gaming. So, which I thought is cool because you're the first fighter that I'm interviewing that's pretty public about their interest in gaming. Let me know if I'm wrong. What does that help you when it comes to training in martial arts? Just like helping the neurons fire off of what your body's supposed to do. Do you find that the hand-eye coordination and everything else with gaming kind of helps you be a better martial artist?
Oh, 1,000%. You ever played Call of Duty online? It's so sweaty. You gotta be so like on top of it. Like when you jump on just to play with your boys, you have to like play warm up games just to kind of get in the zone.
Yeah, I mean, I've played games online with friends, but I've never done it like a versus thing. Compared, maybe when I was younger, I'm an old man, but I was just like, this is the first. This is the first. I've interviewed a lot of fighters, but you're the first one that's like, I know a lot of fighters are on Twitch and stuff like that, but you're someone that seems like you're in the community, you enjoy it, and I was like, I got to ask this guy because I feel like for me, the answer was yes too. As an older martial artist, like I feel like it just helps. But I was like, I got to ask somebody that trains that professional fighter. I have to ask if it adds to the game at all, or if it's just a decompression. But I imagine
Definitely, it's both for sure.
mhm, that's what I figured. So I mean, listen, I know like I'm in New Jersey, so in the Northeast, folks know who you are that have been following the sport. But like, did you find that your rep has been since life on the Ultimate Fighter has kind of catapulted?
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot more people that at least if they're not huge fans, they at least know my name in like the most random places. People will stop me and say hi, which is like always cool.
And
See me or whatever.
yeah, yeah. I mean, like when I mention your name, that's the first thing folks mention is the Ultimate Fighter. But I'm like, I mean, usually from my area, I'm like in Central New Jersey, which most people think is North New Jersey. But like, and upward, it's like people. If you follow regional MMA, folks have been following you for a while, and you're so young, but you have a lot of experience. So, what have you taken from that experience in as far as your training, like the regimen, the mental side, the physical side? Like how would you say you've evolved as a fighter?
I really just kind of got back to focusing on improving every single day, and I think it's something that a lot of fighters, as weird as it sounds, like a lot of fighters forget. Like you're training to get better every day. A lot of guys kind of like fall into that grind where it's like just get in the gym and grind, 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 which is good and has its benefits. But
Mhm.
if you're grinding every day and there's a guy next to you that's getting better every day, in a month, 2 months to a year, they're just going to be leaps and bounds better than you, um, which makes all the difference come fight night. So I feel like for a long time, like I've always worked hard and I've done that for years, but I feel like before my latest resurgence, these last 5 fights,
Mhm.
I really got back to like enjoying it, focusing on getting better, learning new things. I feel like I was kind of stuck in the rut of like, okay, I'm good at this and this, so let's do this. But now it's like, let's get better at everything.
That's funny that you mentioned that 'cause that's actually my next question. I'm like what's been your biggest challenge up until now, and how did you overcome it? It sounds like you kind of just hinted at the overcoming part. Like, is it just going back to having fun with it, or do
Um,
you lose sleep at night?
I think it's about not even so much fun, but just enjoying it and like understanding that things can be so much worse. You know what I mean? Like there's people that go through way worse stuff than I go through dealing with a fight camp. So it's like when I'm a week out from weighing in and I'm cutting weight and I'm like, oh, my life sucks. This is the worst. It's like, no, somebody's got it way worse. Like I'm doing this by choice.
Mhm.
Um, but also just like the hardest thing as far as just like training regimen wise for years, it was really hard for me to do any weightlifting because I was training and fighting so much. You know, you lose a little bit of strength when you're cutting weight. But during COVID, like when I lost those 2 fights at LFA and then decided I'm going to take a year off of competing and just train, I lifted so much. I bulked up to like almost 200 pounds. I was powerlifting every day, 6, 7 days a week. And then I slowly got my weight back down and then got back into the gym and started focusing on improving my technique every single day. And it kind of just is the perfect combination.
So I mean, because just talking to you again, I've watched you so much, and usually it's usually fight night, so you're turned on, ready to go when I've seen you, and then talking to you now, you just seem so chill. When do you turn it on? Is it fight week? Is it days before? When do you flip the switch?
It's as soon as I see my opponent at weigh-ins. Like as soon as I see him and there's a face, like I watch my opponent's fights, but in person when there's a face in the name, it's like okay, he's here to take everything that I want and to stop me from getting everything that I want, and that's just enough to like put me in that zone because he's not getting it.
And your opponent, I mean, for March 18th, I mean, their Cage Titans is going big that day. Apparently, they're doing like two different like
Yeah, doubleheader.
yeah. So and you're like the end of it. It just kind of makes you the main event. You versus Luigi Vendramini. Hopefully I'm not butchering his name. Like does that add pressure to you? The like you're carrying the like this double header, and then you're like the fine end, the big end of it.
No, I think it's exciting. The first time I was the main event ever, it was a really cool experience. Now it's just like something I'm used to, and like this is another new experience. Like I'm the main event for a double header. Like there's going to be fights from 12 in the afternoon to like 10 or 11 at night, and it's all going to be leading up to my fight and my moment. Um, which I think that if I go out there and capitalize like I plan on, I think that moment's going to be even bigger and be the stamp that I need to get back to where I belong.
Speaking of getting back to where you belong, I mean, I saw you like as I was doing my research, getting my notes together for this. Like the UFC's talking about going to Boston, and I saw you talking about packing the house. I mean, I feel like why haven't you been called already? If they knew they're coming that way, and you've already been like your name's already in their Rolodex, obviously because of your experience there. Like, I mean, I don't know. Maybe they're falling behind on social like engagement or something. But I feel like that would have been.
Well, yeah, that's definitely the move. And I'll tell you what, I don't know when they're planning on it. I'm sure they'll announce it somewhat soon. If I had a guess, this is with no facts. This is more of a hope because this would be a perfect timeline for me. I'm hoping sometime in the summer.
Yeah.
Either before or after International Fight Week. But yeah, like I said on Twitter, like I guarantee we sell at the Garden first 48 hours. Like the only place you'll be able to get them is the overpriced resellers.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, for sure. I mean, that I feel like that's why you're on this event coming up on the 18th. That's why it's the way it is, and you and Vendramini are at the end of it. So, for your opponent, like as far as I mean, I know you said you want to represent on that day, but like, what do you know about him? How do you see the fight going? I mean, because he seems like he's got a little bit of a following behind him too, with folks that follow the fight game.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's a UFC vet. He had 4 fights in the UFC. He fought one of their big stars, who I want to get my hands on one day. But he's been there. He was there longer than I was. I had my one fight at the finale, so he has a certain bit of experience that I don't. But unfortunately for him, we're not fighting in the UFC. We're fighting in Cage Titans, where I have the experience fighting in that area. I have that experience fighting more. It's actually funny. So I got cut from the UFC in 2018. He got signed to the UFC in 2018. He's fought 4 times since then. I've fought about 14 times since then. So I've been doing this thing.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's the thing that stands out to me about you. When they gave me your name to talk to you, I was like, wow, this is somebody. I mean, for you're 27 years old, right?
Yep.
Like the experience you have for a 27-year-old, it's like, I mean, that's like talking. For me, it's like talking to like Chuck Liddell or somebody. You know what I mean? It's just like
Yeah.
the game has evolved so much, and it's like you're a part of this new generation that's coming up in MMA. I mean, the staying busy, like I don't know. Do you feel like it's helping your evolution having so many fights, or because you talked about the rest period, it's just so crazy to me that you can do what you're doing and still kind of walk around without a limp or anything like that.
Yeah, man, it keeps me sharp. I come out to American Kickboxing Academy and Daniel Cormier's Wrestling Academy to do my camps, and I really can't afford that without all my sponsors that help these fight camps happen. So, the more that I fight, the more I get to come out here and get this high level work, which obviously leads to such big improvements. But even at home, I'm at Brazilian Top Team Taunton. They're helping me with my jujitsu every single day. We've got wrestlers in there that are killers. But yeah, I really think that fighting and keeping myself mentally sharp and physically sharp is just the best thing for my career right now. And like, if I ever feel like I'm back at that point where like, okay, we got to take some time off of competing and just focus training some things, then I'll do that if need be.
I mean, you seem like you've gotten to a real like Zen part of your career, and I think it's pretty cool, man. So, it's March 18th, Cage Titans 58. Folks can watch on Spectation Sports Live. Joe, if you want to shout your sponsors out and stuff like this, I'm sending this video to them for them to put on their YouTube channel. So by all means, do so.
I just want to say thank you to Two Fight Bros, Caged In Podcast, Verita Builders, and Pear Tree Property Service. Those guys, ever since day one, the first time we talked, they've all had my back. I really appreciate it. They go above and beyond. They hit me up mid camp, like, you need anything? What do you need help with? Like I said, all those sponsors make this possible and helps me put on shows that you guys keep tuning in for.
All right. Well, I'll be tuning in. I mean, it's a big day for Spectation Sports, and I know it's a big day for you too. So good luck to you, and thank you again for making time to talk.
No problem. I appreciate it. I'll talk to you later.
Take care.